own homeland. This place is so nice, wanna do everything twice. Yes, I feel as if I'm in the paradise. No matter the season, you've got every reason. This place is another little heaven. East or west, I couldn't care less. Ooh, this place, it is definitely best. My own homeland. North or south, feel free to wander about. You can jump, dance, or sing and shout in my own homeland. Give yourself a treat.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Today is Friday, and when it's Friday, a lot of people say, thank God it's Friday, but I say, thank God it's another day. Today, we have expression of creative from Barbados. Today, we're going to have a poetry coming out of Barbados. And we're getting ready, our Barbados is getting ready for the transition to become a republic. And this week, the Real Stuff podcast have been focused on Barbados. And this morning, we have creatives from Barbados. And I'm just going to bring in my podcasting team along with the creatives from Barbados. And I promise you, we're going to have an awesome ride. So stick and stay. Don't go nowhere unless you have to get your tea, your coffee, or whatever beverage you have this time of the morning. We'll be right back.
Music marijuana, can I ever refuse it? Pulsating, vibrating, reggae, reggae, reggae. Every sky, rock, a steady mental. A quadrant, a coming up. You can fill your belly with the coconut jelly, mango, papaya.
Yes. So many food items mentioned there, getting me hungry already. So let me bring in my podcasting team this morning. Top of the morning, Courtney. Top of the morning, Flavius. What's happening in your neck of the woods?
Top of the morning, Frank. Top of the morning, Flavius.
Morning, welcome, all Barbados. Welcome. Good
I see all the creatives are here. Good.
Yes.
So Flavius, tell me what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Well, we have had 2 days of rain. It's kind of eased off now. The sun is pushing back out now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess dry us up,
Good. All right, Courtney, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, in my neck of the woods, it's bright and sunny outside. Wonderful day. And I know it's going to be better when I listen to all these creatives out of Barbados. As you know, that the focus is on Barbados on the Real Stuff podcast today. So that's what's happening in the neck of the woods. Yeah, sitting here with great expectation. So back to you, Franco.
All right. So before I hand it over to Flavius and you, Courtney, I just want to send a big shout out to all those who are celebrating birthdays today and those who have stuffed themselves yesterday in the U.S. Thanksgiving Day, included myself. I'm glad that I'm up and about, So, Flavius, Courtney, this morning, the honor is with our Barbadian brothers and sisters. So, without any further ado, let's hand it over to both of you.
Courtney, go ahead, Courtney.
Yes, good morning to everyone, especially to our Barbadian guests, poets and creatives. Today, the program will be handed over to the Gilks brothers, Frank and Antara. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Frank and Antara. Go ahead, Frank.
Hi. I want to welcome all of you. Welcome to this special podcast of the Real Stuff, Expressions of Barbados, by the Barbados creatives. A special welcome to our minister in the office of the Prime Minister responsible with responsibility for culture, the Honorable John King, who is with us, and he will, of course, start the ball rolling by giving us a statement from his office. Over to Mr. King.
I thank you very much, Frank. And let me say from my vantage point here in Barbados that it is again a pleasure to be with you. I want to commend the Real Stuff podcast for reaching out and giving us access on your platform to your audience. And I'm more so pleased not only that we get the opportunity to talk about the transition to a republic, but also it gives you the chance to see the immense talent that we have on this island exposed to a much wider audience. And for me, that is the most important thing. Frank and the others who will be joining you today are a part of that ecosystem that we have in Barbados that, you know, is growing as we speak. And I'm so excited by it because I see a lot of younger people beginning to come along and be guided by persons like Frank, who have been in poetry, who's been in film, and all these other things. And it really makes me excited for the future as for what we're going to be able to accomplish. But it also makes me happy that podcasts such as this, which bring Caribbean people together, gives us the opportunity to share our knowledge, to learn more about each other, and to continue to grow this wonderful part of the world where we live. And you will always hear me refer to it as the last Garden of Eden. And I'm very happy that we're here this morning. So kudos to you guys. And I know that Frank and company will do Barbados proud. And as we transition to a republic, it's really about bringing full circle the whole idea of emancipation and being able to, as I always say to people, do that for yourself, which you need to do. And so on behalf of the people and the government of Barbados, I just want to say to all of the members of the Real Stuff podcast, thank you and congratulations. And I'm hoping that these are not just one-off things, but that we can keep this connection going for as long as humanly possible. And that maybe Frank and his creatives can therefore have their side of a podcast where we can get to learn more about our brothers and sisters and share with the Barbadian population. So again, welcome everyone and enjoy, because I have to go to Golden Square in a few minutes. We're opening a new heritage site, so to speak. And I have to go there for the last minute walk through with the Prime Minister, just to make sure everything is all ready for the grand opening tomorrow. And I guess Frank and you guys being in the podcast for a much longer time than me can pick up where I can't because of time. But I'm sure you would explain to them what Golden Square is all about.
Definitely.
Yeah, 37 riots and all the things that happened that made that space special for Barbadians. So I see Winston Farrell there. Again, one of our top poets, and I'm sure, Winston, if you get the opportunity that you can share a little bit with the audience, the whole idea of the Golden Square, what we're doing, because as I mentioned earlier, I have to leave in 2 minutes to meet the Prime Minister. But I am sure persons will be very interested as to what is happening and what we're doing. But Courtney, as you know, I'm always available once I have time. You got me this morning. You finally got me this morning, but the pleasure was mine to be here and continue to do what you're doing, guys. And may God bless us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you very much, Minister John.
Thank you, Minister.
Yes, that was our Minister responsibility for culture, the Honorable John King. Yeah, we gotta well, today is about Barbados, it's about independence, and it's about the transition to the Republic of Barbados. We have with us Vincent Farrell, Tara Gilles, Yvonne Weeks is on it. It's what Aisha Kamashon, Cindy Marshall, Kioma, Prime Minister, and Lashana. We'll be hearing from these creatives, these poets, as they share their views and their work with us. I want to also invite now my brother Antara, who is also co-hosting this program, to say a few words also, and to sort of get the ball rolling in terms of this program. Antara? Yeah, your mic is mute, Antara. Your mic is mute.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to say how excited I am to be alive to witness this transition toward a republic. This is something that I have been considered a conscious African Barbadian, something that I've been looking forward to since the 1970s. It is unfortunate that some of those who were with us from the 1970s agitated for these other things are no longer with us. And I remember specifically Comrade Ricky Paris and Michael Rasheed Foster, also Martin Cadogan. These are individuals who I'm sure if they were with us today would be elated at this move towards republic status. The unfortunate thing though is that I see that Barbados should have gone to republic when it reached 21. When we celebrated our 21st anniversary of independence, we should have gone to republic status. It is unfortunate that it has taken this long. But some people say good things come to those who wait. And I suppose the time is right now for this particular move. And I am very excited about it, very excited. As excited as I were when we decided to have the national heroes, Clement Payne and company. The same individuals in the 1970s were calling for the recognition of that date of July 1937, which was a watershed moment in the Barbadian history. For 100 years since the abolition of the slave trade in 1834, 38, for 100 years, Barbados went through very little change where African Barbadians were concerned. And that date, that particular rebellion in 1937 marked a specific turning point in the history of this island. And it's very significant also that tomorrow the Golden Square Freedom Park will be officially open. That is the place where Clement Payne used to keep his meetings in 1937. So it was a stomping ground for the freedom fighters, really, all those comrades of the 1937 rebellion, Israel Lovell, Bendi's Chase, and the others who agitated for change in Barbados. That is all I will say for now. Frank, you can take over again and perhaps let us get an introduction from our guests, Mrs. Weeks, Commijon, Cindy Marshall, Kioma, and Lashana, and whoever else is online. I think Farrell, the minister mentioned that Farrell is online, so perhaps he would like to say a few words.
Well, I'm going to Winston right now. Yes, our brother Winston Farrell, Farrell is on. Winston, I really enjoyed that program last night, man. That was really, really good. And I'm glad to see that we are still together doing some good work in this country. I'm pushing this pushing the creative stuff, and I'm happy about the Freedom Park because I believe that in the future we will utilize that to a great extent. because there are a lot of things that we have to do in terms of still promoting Barbados and promoting our work through Barbados and remembering those fallen brothers as well. And I think the Freedom Park is a good ideal location where we can definitely express have our programs and so on. So I asked Winston to just do a little introduction now, and then we'll get back eventually to some readings. Yeah,
good afternoon, brethren and sisterin. It's indeed a really beautiful weekend, shaping up to be a beautiful weekend as we venture into the new republic. The brethren said it all, Carol, when you talked about the ancestors, brethren who are not here, but would have rallied for years in terms of pushing this idea of not just republic, but general freedom fighters of the period. Rasheed Foster, I remember his Patriot poem as one of those poems that represented him in terms of his commitment to community and to social living. And of course, the brigadier, the commander, sorry, the man in the red beret. And maybe later I'll read a very short poem that I wrote recently for him on this day. I think, yeah, will be a good day to read it. Ricky Babu Paris. Yeah, the history is so packed, so deep, and it still feels like these brethren are still with us. I don't know about you guys, but
yep.
I feel the energy of these men every day. I'm currently writing a work here, preparing a work here, and it is hard. It is hard to leave them out. And to add to that mix, Kamau, who would have been one of the people that might not have been able to physically be in the space this weekend, but certainly to be alive and to witness the momentous occasion would have been really interesting for him, I'm sure. Golden Square, what can I tell you about Golden Square? Again, Carol, you dealt with it. My own memory of work there is great. I remember doing two very successful folk concerts in the area of Golden Square back in the 90s, and under some really challenging circumstances, but ended up really creating some beautiful work in that space. And I look forward to actually doing something in this space at some time in the future. Even as I pen what I'm penning now, there's that moment where Golden Square must take part in the process. So yeah, I'm glad to be here. Last night was awesome. What I liked about last night, the two things that stand out for me was the young people, the youth's contribution, and the power of the spoken word. That it started strong and it ended strong with a lot of lashes in between. And the poem that stand out in my mind was a poem by Cindy Celeste, to do with language, I think it is.
That's the one who wrote the Republic?
No, the other one. I especially like that poem a lot.
Yeah.
So that's it from me. Brethren, like I said, it's great to be here. As we speak, I am preparing for a rehearsal this evening, so I am still trying to sketch some stuff. So I am looking forward to the next hour or so, you guys.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you. The ladies in the house, Lashana in. Lashana and Yvonne Weeks. Yeah. Oh,
I'm
You
not
know?
seeing them yet. I'm not seeing them yet.
okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's start the ball rolling. Antar, you want to start off with one of your pieces?
Yeah, I could start off with something actually that I started to write. It may not end up being the same thing in a couple of weeks, but I thought I would share it just as well. And it goes like this: Republic for Barbados is a must. So all them with colonial mindset who object can depart on next American airline or Virgin Atlantic jet, because Republic for Barbados is a must. Come December 1st this year, the British Queen and her royal will be gone. No more allegiance or oaths to her and her heirs. Our head of state will be a Bajan born, because Republic for Barbados is a must. No more royal this and royal that. No more Sir John and Lady Steele. No more Dame Doodoo. We done with that. Honors and awards will reflect our pride. It is a new age, a new and refreshing tide, because Republic for Barbados is a must. That is something I just over the last couple of hours, more or less.
Okay.
I thought I would share.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna ask I Farrell do something for us at the stage. I heard last night he did at least 3 pieces last night, which definitely reflected on the whole Republic status. Yes, Farrell.
Yeah, greetings again, my brethren and sisterin, if they're in the house. Let me keep to my pledge and read this very short poem for Ricky, and then I'll do something on the Republic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we can work with that. So a very short poem, a group of haikus I strung together for my brother Ricky. Rest your red beret on your battalion of books, Blackbeard from Bush Hall, soldiering the cause, commander of the working man of the people, sickle and plowshare, father of the underdog, our Ricky Babu. Your body buried, skull to the east, bones to dust, where peace flowers grow. Throughout all the years, an echo in the rafters, still can hear you laugh, laughing.
Great.
Guys, for my brother Ricky.
Great. I saw Ricky as he was reading that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Last night, as we were, I read some Republic poems, yes. And I think what I will try to do now is read another Republic poem, one which I didn't read yesterday, but nonetheless, one that is quite new in terms of what I'm writing now. If I see my list, it's because I'm looking for the boy, right? So last night I am Republic, today I'm going to do New Republic. These things, these poems are subject and continue to be tweaked and worked on.
You know how it is.
They are very, very new poems, you know, even the ones I did last time, very, very new,
You know
very,
it.
still working. Key Republic now, and it is again, I've been working with haikus for the last couple of weeks. So a lot of this stuff is based either on the haiku or the longer form of the Japanese poem. Key Republic now, she tied the knot in Bajan style, she own homegrown. Gone Republic now, no more monarchy for she done wear the crown. She Republic red, vows to her own president, Bajan bread and lead. But all not happy. No more knighthood and gold crown, Buckingham glory. The time is not right. Opposition caught napping. Nothing much will change. Cart before the horse. The crown severed from the head, but the heart still heavy, still holding the hand of a Westminster man. So far, no further. Change must now take charge, make our constitution strong, brand our own Bajan way. This new republic rising up from the floorboards is me and is you. So our picnic can one day inspire to be the next president. Raise the country flag, independence reaffirm, the new republic. Help our children sing republic down to the bone. It's a new dawning. Let the people judge. Wave the broken trident high till the day we die. Make yellow, blue, and black. Make we Bajan out of that.
Yeah.
So those two pieces I'll start with. And if I get a chance, I'll do public eye a little later.
Yep. I just want to share. I want to share a short one for us. I have one that I finished this morning with the Republic as well, but I can share this short one for us, which was written a couple of weeks ago, and it's called New Revolution. How do we stop black lips from speaking, black hearts from bleeding, black blood from flowing? This is no ancient mystery, no Masonic secret code. This is the face of reality, seeking to erode centuries of scars that saw us caged within bars, then hunted like dogs, feed lions. How do we stop black voices shouting, black feet marching to offbeat rhythms in the midday sun on black tar roads? No one knows, no one cares, yet we see the fear as black fists fall in anger, clenching ear. The revolution song is clear. Draw near, the revolution is here. Our new revolution.
Yeah, Frank, I like that.
One of the things about that is that when I wrote that is that I was thinking that I hadn't written any really revolutionary stuff recently, about 2 weeks ago, and that just came to me, a new revolution. Because one of the things that I noticed last night reading Farrell, one thing that I noticed is, right, when I look at the young generation now, the stuff that they're producing, it reminded me of what we used to do back then. Over the years, we have mellowed a lot.
You're so right. I was watching it myself, especially when Chandler was on. The energy that Chandler brought, I was looking at it. I was saying, hey, look at that little boy, look at that boy, that. Look at that boy, that. It reminded you of a time,
right.
when you had that energy, or you displayed that kind of energy, I think the message I would want to say is that the energy is still there, but what I think we have learned to do is to kind of harness that energy and know when to and how much of it to when, and you know what I mean. It's you call it mellowing, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I guess it's understanding the energy and how you can.
And the thing that we will question things then. The questions that we ask then, it's like as though we have come to realize certain answers and accepting certain things as answers. This young cadre of writers, of poets now, they're asking some serious questions, and to me, you know, and I wonder if they will ever come to a time when they will come to a realization that these questions that they were answered or they are being answered to satisfy them. If they will ever be satisfied with any answer to their questions, so to speak, you know, because even the idea of questioning the move to republic status in a way that how we fought to get the state of republic. Now we are seeing it in terms of whether we give people enough time to decide their mind or to weigh in on it. That's a question that kind of comes now with the younger people now, in terms of that. But we that fought for years along that path don't see it that way, because we figured that this thing was too long. They come in and it wasn't coming fast enough. Now there's this question by this young. I heard the question last night by a young poet who was questioning the fact, but whether they're given enough information, whether people had understand what is a republic, you know, all these different things. So it's a whole different scenario in terms of the questions that you get in. But that revolutionary spirit is still very much alive, and you know, it is good. It is good to see it, but I guess years have caused us to mellow a bit. As you say, we still have that inside, that revolutionary spirit, but we have mellowed a bit, and I think that is good. You know?
What I like about the presentation, like I said, is the fact that the form itself lends itself to a certain amount of power, a certain amount of expression and cleverness about it that is fresh, and that is what I like about it, and even more so when you can really ring the poetics within a spoken word piece. I get a bit more excited about that, because I am very much interested in form as well. So when I hear a spoken word piece that is, to my mind, more than just a spoken word piece that might even sit down on a page, I get excited about that.
Yeah, because that's the thing about the spoken word pieces. A lot of spoken word pieces, unless you actually hear them, they don't resonate as something on a page. You got to actually hear them. And the rhythm of the poet's speech is also very important in terms of getting that message over. You know what I'm saying? So seeing it on a page might not convey the same feeling as actually hearing the spoken word. And I think that's the thing about spoken word, right?
That's why I think that you know, when you're able to capture those two things, and that you're able to create a word that can sit on this page. Because people like me, I got split personality, split interest. As a performer, I am into performance and I love performance, but I am also very much about the page as well, and form and craft. So you know, for me, it has always been trying to bring those two things together. Even when I'm doing written poetry, I would like to think that my written poetry carry a certain amount of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
you're to it, and it's just not word song. It's just not, you know what I mean?
You're still the one, if not the leading person who pioneer of the written poetry in Barbados.
Well, you know, that is something that I really don't really shout too hard about. It's not about that at all, because
people
in my memory, just to set that record straight. what you might consider the first written poem in Barbados, to my mind, is not even Busman. Busman might have been the most popular and been around a very long time.
Right.
And that I paranoia that is not necessarily true, because I remember the first written poet I ever heard was Rasheed, and I was at home listening to the 1 o'clock news as a younger person. I don't even think how much I was writing, but not in that vein yet, I think.
Right,
And I heard this clipping on the news of this guy doing this poem to a drum. And I totally forgot that. And even when I started writing Busman, I didn't think anything about it until I met those guys and started to work with them. And I realized, well, this was the guy who I heard.
Yeah.
And his first poem, the first piece that was we all
roots in Africa.
Roots in Africa.
Africa.
Yeah.
I said we all got the roots in Africa. And in researching it, I discovered that really the first piece really is a piece by Margaret Gill called it King Cutter.
Oh.
Again, I didn't get across that until a couple of years ago when I actually heard the poem and actually had the discussion with Margaret. Its first delivery and the use of the drum and the rhythm within it. You know what I mean? So the work is ancestral, you know what I mean? You can go further and further, the works of Bruce St. John, and of course the master himself come out. But yeah, it's nation language, and at the time we were working with what was happening in the diaspora in terms of dub poetry, and within the Eastern Caribbean rap soul, and we were all interacting at the time with those practitioners, you know, Better Resistance.
I remember the guy from Trinidad from Better Resistance, yeah.
In UK, I remember opening for him in Amsterdam 1 year at a festival. And people like Muta Baruka and Oko Noro and my still good friend Yasa Safari. So the work continues.
Actually, the first written poet that I met, and I was exposed to was the Jamaican Linton Kwesi Johnson.
You would have met him in Carifesta, 81.
81, yeah.
Yes.
But I knew about him before 81. I actually was introduced to him by an English teacher, a lady who was from England, who was teaching at the St. Lucie Secondary School, and she had some tapes. And one of the first poems that I remember that she introduced me to was one called "London is a Bitch."
England is a bitch.
England is a bitch. England is a bitch. There's no other escaping it, right? And I listened to this whole tape and all these poems, and they were really, really good. And it was
again, the thing about LKJ, again, that he's not just a dub poet off the page, but he's also very strong on the page.
Right.
In fact, it was my man Claremont Tate, because when I did Busman, I did not remember the memory of Rasheed. Totally didn't remember it. So when I did Busman and it started to play on radio and stuff, I was like, you know what I mean, outside country and Western talkers. I never really, what am I doing here? And it was Claremont Tate who took me to his place and sat me down and played LKJ for me. And you know what I mean, and other dub poets. And then I started to travel and started to perform with these guys in Canada and all over the place.
Any of the other young ladies on yet? Frank?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes, Courtney, say something.
Yes, I said just give us some more poetry if you can.
I'm gonna give my piece here now. This is called New Republic. I have this and another one to read after, but I can do this one. I just actually finished it. You know?
Before you go, we have a question. There's a question. Somebody has a question. Go ahead, Cleve.
Yes, thanks very much. So I'm very glad that the presenters were talking about nation language and the popular poetry. But I didn't hear anything made mention of the great Barbadian poet and West Indian scholar, the late Edward Camus Brathwaite, because he was one of those who promoted nation language and actually won international prizes for the spoken word. So can anybody say what influence, if any, you think that
Actually,
Edward Camus Brathwaite made on the Barbadian?
Winston did mention Camus Brathwaite just now.
Yeah, we can't have this discourse without mentioning Camo. We talk about Ricky and Rasheed, who are our contemporaries.
Right.
But actually, like I said, it's Camo. We can't have the conversation without Camo because he's the godfather. It's Camo and Bruce St. John. Those are the two. I mean, Bruce St. John, in terms of nation language, and the use of the dialect, we call him the godfather of the Belgian dialect. And Kamau, not only in terms of his poetry and poetics, but also in terms of his social history of the Caribbean and of Africa and what he contributed in terms of that kind of scholarship. So yeah, Kamau is definitely seasoned deep. We've all been influenced by Kamau. There's one piece that I have in my rep that he's given me permission to do, and a couple of pieces. In fact, I can't live without Kamau. Right here is Arrivance, as you can see. So he's a staple, definitely. And maybe I'll read something from him just to bless the gathering at some point.
Definitely.
It would be good if you do that.
Yeah. Okay, I can do this piece now called New Republic. I just finished it this morning, actually. It's still a work in progress. It's so far along now that is.
Very much.
New Republic. Wrapped in the gold of flag, the black trident piercing our sides, hugged by the ultramarine of an embracing Atlantic, I watched this ancient land mass that stretched past when Judas betrayed Christ, to rise up from the deep blue, pay the price with blood and sweat, but never to forget Kafi's dream, baptized by fire, now igniting desire to become masters of our destiny, fueled by pain and Bradley, praying hope from Barrow, who lead us here, Amor, love conquers all who care, the journey is now beginning. We must now rise up to paddle the canoe that transported our Kalaningo predecessors across this island chain to once again regain with Mother Earth, giving rebirth to the battle with climate war and invasion of viruses into our space. Rise up, make haste to greet the new republic at Buckingham's gate. It is never too late to unchain the shackles that bound us to a colonial fate, making us stop and contemplate as we chart charters for this new state, while some make futile debate, thinking we should hesitate. I say, on to the new republic. Don't be caught loitering, dreaming of our future fate. The time is now to welcome our republic state.
Yeah. Listen, Frank.
Yeah.
I missed you. I missed quite a bit earlier because I was having a problem with my audio.
Yeah.
And I wasn't hearing very well either because we had some rain pelting down here by me.
Oh, it's raining
right?
over there.
Yeah. So it don't seem as though the others are linking up.
I have not heard from anyone as yet.
What I heard mentioned just now of Kamau,
Yes.
I want to share something from a short piece from a poem that I wrote as a tribute to him just after he had passed away. But before I do that, I want to find out, in 1966, after 1966 and Barbados became independence, there was a blossoming, more or less, of Barbadian culture, the arts. We had Black Knight, which Farrell would be aware. I think Farrell would have been one of those poets who would have participated in the Black Knight sessions. Coming out of Black Knight, you had Yoruba.
I think far too young for the Black Knight, man.
But definitely too young, boy. That's a baby.
Far too young for Black Knight.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was a Black Knight. It would have been a Black Knight that I would have
Yeah.
really heard that Foster on the radio from that clip at Yoruba. But I was never a Yoruba person until late in the run-ins after I joined Writers Workshop. And then Writers Workshop had some interaction. So I did some plays down at Yoruba, blah, 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 met Saladada. And of course, we overnighted down by Yoruba where we were going to Grenada.
Yeah.
But outside of that, no, I'm too young for the Black Knight.
Do you all see a similar thing happening coming out of Barbados moving towards republic status? I would love to believe that coming out of this significant move towards republic status, that the younger poets, younger artists would be so inspired that it would give now a second push, a second climb where the arts are concerned in Barbados. Just as it happened just after independence in the 1970s, as I said, you had Yoruba, and subsequently you had all these youth groups spraying up around the island, cultural groups, and so on. But what I want to do, because I'm getting a problem here with the rain, I hope that you can hear me, is I want to share a small part from a poem, tribute to Kamau. From this sacred space, this Bay Street, Sand Street scene of sea, shimmering shapes and shadows, ocean-wearied ships, barnacle schemes, was painted a word picture that scratched illusions of greatness of a foreign enterprise into our consciousness, that schooled us with stories of a British queen, the cow jumping over the moon, a dish running away with the spoon, Bristol, Liverpool trade, London, Westminster, and these lush green lands, cane fields that hide the stain of blood, the bitter sweat and stay of sugar, the wit, the wealth that built a British claim to empire, a history of kings, queens, barons, lords, and knights, the night of our misery, our nightmare, beyond the plots of rabland, grabland, golf courses, and gated communities, the house expatriates, the new master hidden behind hedges of red bougainvillea on walls, and these country hills districts we now call home, Rosehill, Bathsheba, Boscobel, a carpenter's shop at mile and a quarter, the caressing finger of your voice traced and painted the dance of remembering, dancing memories, dream stories of time to page, syncopated rhythms of tap, a record-tap-tap, a record-tap-tap, a record-tap-tap, awoke the pulsating heartbeat of nature's speech, breathing beneath the surface of a queen's English, and memories of sunlight's kiss and playful display in the surf's afternoon frolic surface, and anchored your soul, yourself, the Browns Beach, Carlisle Bay.
Yeah. I am still here, just need.
Unfortunately, rain is falling conspiracy here.
Right here. Wow. Yeah. We haven't seen, we haven't heard from the young lady yet. What is? Farrell, I think Farrell want to do a piece. Farrell, you want to do a piece? You want to do a piece by Camus Buffet? Your mic is mute on. Hello, Farrell, your mic is mute. Winston, your mic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do a piece by Camus? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do two pieces. I want to do a piece by me and then a piece by Camus.
Go ahead.
All right, so this piece is called Public Eye. And I think it goes in the whole collection when it's talking about Republic and all of that. A vagrant hawked and spewed at Parliament's gate. Bundle of provisions scattered on the floor before public eye and speaker's ear. Some Marty, some Minty, some Glide, all Westminster farts in their jacket and tie, suit them fine to keep poor people blind. Swearing and sweating in a staggering state, wares exposed and damages mounting before public eye and speaker's ear. Behind them damn knighthoods like fresh fall steep, biting away at your bloody bone. Mosquitoes are more dignified. Up comes the constable, arresting the rabble, protecting the peace, propping the power before public eye and speaker's ear. Madam Dame, Madam Blame, all the same glossy hat and pretty chat, stepping up on we shoulders and backs, walking around on we heads with all types of big wigs and words, struggling as if choking on his own babble, police and rebel, rustling the law and order before public eye and speaker's ear. Stuck up on all this glory, hand in glove, whose story? Paradise and high price, not friends, just partners in profit. And away, voice and vagrant shuttle to silence, taxing the lingering fumes of the poor before public eye and speaker's ear. It's interesting how that poem came about. The inside pieces were the first part of the poem, and I had it there for over a year, telling myself, well, it's real harsh, Farrell. You cannot do that. And then by some strange miracle, some epiphany, something, the outside part, the narrative part of the poem came. And I was like, okay, thank you. We can work with this. We can work with this now. Just saying that, the work can be so scary at times. And the question you gotta ask yourself always, are you bold enough? Are you bold enough? So that's another reason why I really admire the youths, because they're bold enough. You know what I mean?
You gotta go through that stage of boldness.
Yeah, they're bold enough where they're not afraid. I am here feverishly looking for this particular poem that I want to do. And as I flip through the pages, I'm not landing on it as yet. And the one that I don't, got it. I like to do niggas because niggas is, to my mind, a really sweet spoken word poem by the general. Let me do it. It, 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 it is not. It, 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 it is not. It is not. It is not. It is not enough. It is not enough to be free of the red, white, and blue of the dragon. It is not. It is not. It is not enough. It is not enough to be free of the whips, principalities, and powers. Where is your kingdom of the word? It, it, it is not. It, 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 it is not. It is not. It is not. It is not enough. It is not enough to be free of malaria fevers, fear of the hurricanes, fear of invasions, crops, droughts, fires, blisters upon the cane. It is not enough to tinkle to work on a bicycle bell when hell crackles and burn in the 14-inch screen of the Japanese constructed United Fruit Company imported hard sell telltale television set, rhinocerously knob, cancerously tube. It is not. It is not. It is not enough to be able to fly to Miami, structured skyscrapers, excavate the moonscape, seashore sands, to build hotels, casinos, sepulchres. It is not. It is not. It is not enough. It is not enough to be free to bulldoze God's quarters from their tombs, from their relics, from their tombs of drums. It is not enough to pray to Barclays bankers on the telephone, to Jesus Christ by shortwave radio, to United States Marines by rattling your hip bone. I must be given words to shape my name to the syllable of trees. I must be given words to fashion futures like a healer's hand. I must be given words so that the bees in my blood buzzing brain of memory will make flowers, will make flocks of birds, will make sky, will make heaven. The heaven opens to the thunderstone and the volcano and the unfolding land. It is not, it is not. It is not enough to be paused, to be whole, to be void, to be silent, to be semicolon, to be semicolony. Fling me the stone that will confound the void. Find me the rage and I will raise the colony. Fill me with words and I will blind your God. Atibon, Atibon Legba, Atibon Legba. Ouvri bailli pour moi. Ouvri bailli pour moi. That is come out. If I ever get back to you guys again this evening, I will share with you some, again, new writings where we're looking at elements of our Orisha culture. And maybe I can share one to you with you guys. Thanks.
Antar, you got something to share with us? Yeah.
It's getting really rainy.
Yeah, I hear you though. I hear you though. Go ahead. Go ahead. Antar.
Yeah. I was about saying earlier, I would like to think that the move to republic status will be an inspiration to our young poets, spoken word artists, to really come out and be more forceful after this particular move, and that we will see a resurgence of cultural activity and expression right across the island as we did in the 1970s. That is the sort of thing that we came out of after independence. And I would hope that a similar thing were to happen again.
I think it will happen. I think it will happen in a bigger way this time because mostly because of the technology, and there's a lot more opportunities now for persons to share wider and more globally. So I think that the ones coming out of this period now most likely will have a bigger impact than we did because they now can impact the entire world. Our audience was kind of restricted at the time. And as you know, we had to travel over Barbados. We traveled all around Barbados reading our stuff in order to get audience. We went to the audience. In most cases, we didn't stay in one place and call the audience to us. We mostly went to audience. We went different places all over the island reading. Now you can stand in your living room now and you can read, you can do your stuff. You know, you can, there's opportunities open up even in terms of our local TV station. There's opportunities open up where people now can also use that media as well. For those people who might not be have the technology and their resources. I think this group, this generation now coming out of this republic status will have a greater impact. You know, I look forward to it. It's I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. I hear the rain, but you're a lot.
Yeah, man, rain pouring up that side, right?
Yeah. The rain, boy. I don't know. Everybody here clear though? Everybody here clearly? This one, I remember some years ago, Rasheed did a poem, and it was a letter from England. And some years ago, I wrote something like that, and I remember it, and I went and dig it up, and I said, let me try this and see how it sounds now, whether it fix out a bit and so on. And this one is called Letter to Boise. This one is called Letter to Boise. Dear Boise, this is your old granny writing to you from here in Barbados. The arthritis killing us slowly, but I'm still trying to live right and godly. Sonny boy child, my grandson, I pray God bless you. See if you can send a little money. The last you send that old thief at the supermarket, Mr. Benny. God bless my soul case, carry every penny. Ain't left a cent to save my face. But the Lord is merciful, and his mercy endureth. Praise the name of the Lord. Well, the eyesight ain't as good as it used to be, and at night your granny could barely see. So I was only get to church on Sunday. Boise, your granny had was to go down at the clinic last week. I fall down at the back door and break out 2 of the false teeth. You know the back step I get Mr. Boy to do? It had a pothole, so it hooked me tall his shoe. Child, your granny fall flat as she face. God only know how I did break some case, but the Lord is merciful, because it could be worse. Oh, before I forget, the shed roof still leak. It poured like a river when we had a set of rain all last week. I got some charcoal to send for you, and Lord make it herself. She said it ain't stuffy or it don't clot. It's a nice smooth charcoal. I can down by the post office tomorrow life sparing and post it to you. If I give some to the rest, it shall get there fast because I sending it express. Boise, your granny hand getting weary. It's the arthritis man. So I'm going in here with enough love. Don't let them American women carry all your money. Remember your old granny who changed your nappy when you was a baby. So until I hear from you, I remain your loving grandmother, Isilma Esmeralda Rudder. That's the old piece. That's the old piece. But rhythm actually when he was actually going to school. So I try to dig up. Yeah, at school they used to hear me reading those pieces. So I used to write a lot of that stuff when I was at school. And they like to hear me read those pieces. So I dig it up and sort of revive it. Yes, Courtney. So Courtney. Yeah. Courtney, you're mute.
I found out that some people are having problems, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I think Kihoma is maybe try to get in later, and Lashana, because Lashana had to perform at some in the transition thing that you had today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had sent me a text. So that's for the updates. I haven't heard from anyone else. But whatever you guys have, you know, in poem, I know you've got a lot of poems, man. So you can just give us a feast, and you know you can interject with talking about the transition, anything Barbadian. You know, I mean, talk about the culture. You know, tell us of some of the sites that are in Barbados. I think our listeners will be interested in that. Because many people haven't, you know, leave out of the Caribbean or out of Jamaica and elsewhere, you know, to go to Barbados. And we have listeners in Africa. So, you know, I think they'll be interested to know what's going on in Barbados. So you still, you know, you can mix it with your, you know, your poetry and whatever cultural activity.
I think one of the things that I need to probably to follow on from what the minister was saying when he came on early, in terms of this actual podcast, the idea of this podcast and how it reached out to other Caribbean countries, and to the African diaspora, and you know, it's a very significant development for artists, literary artists, and spoken word artists, and all people involved in the arts, as a matter of fact, to sort of spread their work, ideas, and to exchange ideas and actually have that linkage with the African brothers and sisters, and with our other Caribbean brothers and sisters as well, right? Because as you know, most of us are very strong when it comes to Caribbean integration, and we consider it. It should even be more forceful now that we are going to Republic, because one of the things that we are hoping is that this our move to Republic will encourage those other Caribbean countries that are still under the monarchy to make the move as well. And we are looking forward that within the next decade, the entire Caribbean will be will actually come out from under the monarchy and be actual republics. So this is one thing that we're hoping, and the development, our development in terms of our cultural development, certainly will help push this. You know, so we are very happy to be able to engage with the brothers from the Jamaican brothers and other brothers from throughout the Caribbean and across the diaspora, and we look forward that this will be something that will be ongoing as well, right? Because the strange thing is that something like this had to happen during COVID, and this is one of the positive things, one of the positive forces that has arisen because of the need for it at the time like this, and it's great to know that we were able to connect with this at this time.
Yeah, so because there's something that our audience don't know about you, that you're an artist. You know, you do acrylic painting and other stuff. You're into film production. So you take this time to tell them about some of your film production.
Well, most of the right.
To share with them,
The thing about it is that most of the persons here are into various other forms of the arts. I'm sure you will know that Mr. Farrell is also a renowned actor, stage actor. He's done several productions, and he's also a playwright. Winning awards in terms of playwriting and so on. And there was a writer who once told me that if you are a poet, you shouldn't try to be a novelist. And but we don't see it that way, because art is kind of interrelated. And most persons that I know that involved in the arts are usually involved in more than one aspect of art. They're not what we call like mono artists. They're not artists, like they're not actors alone, or they're not poets alone. They're not musicians alone, because we have musicians and artists. We have persons like Aja, who is a musician and a poet. We have persons like Mr. Farrell, who is an actor, playwright, poet. We have myself, who don't know get into film acting and film production, and I have a passion for that as well. I have a passion for photography, which I've never explored fully either. But that's one reason why I got attracted to film, because I see myself more going into production rather than even the being in front of the camera. I want to get to the stage where I could work behind the camera, because I think I have more ideas in terms of working behind the camera, and I want to see a vibrant film industry develop in Barbados that we can spread throughout the region. There's no reason why we can't. We have stories to tell. We have so many stories to tell in Barbados, and we can utilize the same poets. We can the same way how the musicians are doing the music videos. We can use our film industry to push our poetry as well, and it's something that we've started to do. We started to do it in a lot of ways. A lot of poets now. I've seen a couple of work by Farrell in that area. I've done two major pieces of my work in film, which is Rebellion Song and the Fisherman. CBC is yet to show them. I think I might show them this Saturday they come in. I'm not holding my breath, because I know how it is. I know how it is, right? Because sometimes the show these times at 4:30 in the morning. I happen to wake up one morning about 4:30 and put my TV on CBC, and I saw a video by Farrell. A poetry video by Farrell, and I was like, "What? At 4:30 in the morning?"
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I Farrell in this conversation, to talk about some of those stuff, because I think most of us just know I Farrell as a poet.
Yeah, really. Yeah, because I think the busman would have the busman, but we've come a long way over the years in terms of development of the art. One thing we need to acknowledge early, that in a small 366 square mile town, that you can't put all your eggs in one basket. And from very early, I learned that I really couldn't survive as an actor. I got involved in other aspects of the arts where my skills were naturally suited. So from acting, writing poetry, I decided to start performing poetry, hence the whole rhythm poetry, and working with drum and music and stuff as a form of telling that story. I also started to direct and to write plays. But above it all, I think the area that I am even more qualified and specialized in is in the area of theater for development, where I use the theater not just as a performance idea, but as a means of personal and social development. So I've had some little stints doing a little consultancy work where we're dealing with things like HIV/AIDS and gun violence and all other kind of social ills where we were using the drama and popular theater as a means of interrogating, as a means of exploration, and a means of community building. And of course, working with the different interest groups, for example, senior citizens. We've done a lot of work, a whole body of work with senior citizens. And in my own job, the youth service, working with young people. So I think I was blessed in a way that I was able to work across demographics, in terms of the youth, the elderly, and the normal population of theater artists. Um, and to do that at home, in the Eastern Caribbean and in some quarters of the globe is and was and continues to be kind of rewarding. Um, these days with COVID, it has restricted a lot of stuff, in terms of your physicalization, travel, performance, um, and so the use of the technology, the use of the computer, the use of the World Wide Web, um, has become more and more, um, the the tool of access, and therefore over the last year, well, during the year of the pandemic, 2020, we did a lot more stuff online in terms of festivals and performances, festivals, and we got to upload some stuff for the first time on the YouTube channel and other channels. And I understand that video that you probably saw was I Cry.
Yeah.
And for the health of me, I don't understand why CBC will want to show I Cry at 4 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
When it is a video that explored our conversation on crime and violence,
Among your people.
gun violence. I would hear to think that the excuse is that it got a rapper in it and somebody having well, nobody actually smokes, but there's a spliff between somebody's finger at one point, I think, and there's a line in the thing about, you know what I mean, thing, and somebody is putting something in a wrapper. I would hate to think that that's the reason why it's been relegated to the graveyards of the early morning.
Yeah,
When I can see Sizzler on my TV in prime time with a woman smoking a big spliff coming to the end of his song, smoking a big spliff. General song. The song isn't about anything in terms of community building, really. When you look at the track, I Cry is a track that should be part of the ammunition of the anti-violence movement in Barbados, but somebody believes that it is too graphic maybe to show at prime time, and that is where the artist has to live with in Barbados. And I am not surprised that we are where we are based on these gatekeepers who profess to think that they know and are in control of their runnings of things.
But I believe
that's what that is about, really.
There's something that you need to make graphic though, you know. I think there's something you need to make graphic to get a message across too, but apparently that is not very popular. I remember the first film that I worked on was a film called Daybreak, and it was said it was full of violence, but had a lot of shooting, youngsters and gang related incident shooting, one and so on. And CBC showed it about 4 times, but they got a lot of stick for it because the story was good. It was a good story, but it had a lot of violence. And I wanted to tell you that I was instrumental in doing when I worked with our production is to tell the guys who wrote the story and who was actually directing the film that you need to make the violence in this film have a purpose. We can't have a film, Barbados film, just people shooting one another, and there's no purpose to it. So the shooting had a purpose, the violence had a purpose, and at the end, it came out that in the story that violence was not the way to go. That was the whole moral of the story. You had to show violence first, and then at the end say, well, this is not the way to go. And it showed at the end where the guy. Right,
Is it not double standard?
Huh?
Is it not double standard? Don't we watch a lot of violent films from Hollywood?
Yeah.
People smoking weed and don't we watch this? So I don't understand it. I mean, am I getting too old here or what? Am I smoking too much ganja or what? You know what I mean? Do I get too high? I mean, if I do get too high and smoke too much ganja, it's because the society pushes me to do that. Because you know what I mean? They just get me. I mean, that's double standard of the highest order. You know what I mean?
Because I see. When you walk the like Walker Texas Ranger, that's full of violence. But yeah, it's considered family entertainment.
Yeah, it's like, you know, Sizzler can have a video on my prime time with a woman coming to the end of his song with this woman with this big split between her finger and sucking it, right? Casual song. But my track that is about gun violence and the severity of gun violence, they want me to sanitize that, to make it sterile, so that when the youth see it, the youths laugh at it, because, you know what I mean? And that has been happening in this society for a while, you know. All these anti-drug people and all, you know, I hear the youths laughing at them so much with the rhetoric that they bring. It is so funny, you know what I mean? Because they want to sanitize it. And you know what I mean, they don't want to expose it for what it is. They don't want to be real about it. They don't want to keep it real. They want to pretend.
Almost
that,
like
you know
almost like how
that's really sick.
I want to switch gears a little bit.
Before you go, Courtney, just
rhythm poetry.
Just an announcement. I just spoke to Kioma, and he's having an emergency. Okay. So he won't be on at all. I just spoke to him.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Courtney.
Yes, I Farrell, speak a little bit about rhythm poetry, because most of our people, they don't know what rhythm poetry is. And I remember when
it is a simple label. It is a simple label for a form of expression that you guys know as dub poetry. Okay. Basically, we don't call it dub poetry in Barbados. It doesn't have the same history, I would suggest. We call it rhythm poetry because we're just working with rhythms, and our rhythm can come from our indigenous tuk rhythm, like the Busman did, with a tuk rhythm, or a Kaiso 4/4 rhythm, or a reggae rhythm, which a lot of my work is based on. But I don't call what I do dub poetry. I mean, I am referred to as a dub poet on occasion, especially when I travel and I'm referred to as. But we call what we do in Barbados rhythm poetry. Just like how Brother Resistance and the movement in Trinidad regarded what they did as rap soul, because they were kind of rapping to soca. Yeah. And the Jamaicans call it dub poetry because of the history of the whole idea of the dubbing of the early toasters. And that's the origin in some of the French Caribbean. People like Rasmo and Dominica and one or two other brethren worked a lot with cadence and other francophone songs. So rhythm poetry is simply a dubbing, indigenous dubbing of rhythm and poetry, utilizing word song and chant,
different rhythms,
and the poetics within a rhythm. And we will say that all poetry has some form of rhythm, especially if you're coming from a Caribbean or African perspective. One of the reasons why we started the movement of rhythm poetry, especially during the 80s with the NCF, was that we wanted to excite a lot of the young people who were kind of losing interest in poetry at the time. And not considering that within our educational system, we were exposed to a lot of what they call the dead poets or the Eurocentric poets or the white poets or the poets that dealt with images that we were not relating to. The youths were not relating to Europe and America and white and snow and you know what I mean. And we weren't really getting anything out of Africa because you know what I mean, we kind of, it's only now that we're looking at the South-South movement, which is critical in terms of Africa and all that she has to offer. But back then, you know what I mean, your CXC and your GC, you're looking at the Keats and the Miltons and the Shakespeare and a lot of even as we went to early CXC, a lot of our poetry still was that stiff upper lip kind of poetry that didn't really excite the young people, that didn't excite the new generation. So we started to do the rhythm poetry as a means of breaking that ice. At first, trying to get the youth to love this thing called poetry. And then once you've done that, then you can introduce them to the poetry, the form, you know what I mean, and the various forms that exist, and poetry that they can relate to, that have images, metaphors that they can relate to. So that was the whole idea in terms of pushing it during the 80s, especially. Trying to get that mix of on the page and off the page activity going on with young people and making it more performative as well. Yeah,
I think it was very successful too.
Can we close off with just poetry?
Yeah.
What we call one-shot running poetry. Just keep going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well, I got to move pretty soon, so I can probably drop something. Drop something. I want to drop something when you talk about Barbados and when we talk about Barbados and stuff. We are island surrounded by water, and this piece, you know, it's called Memory of Miami Beach, and it's really about the birth of Miami Beach. This is a beach we have on the south coast of the island. It's pretty old now, when they've grown a whole heap of trees on it, but I remember it before they even had trees, when it was all sand. And it's officially called Enterprise Beach. But in our memory, there was never a beach in Enterprise. And when this beach was created, it got the name Miami. And I try to use this poem to explain how Miami Beach got its name. We were Sea Rock's children. Any day, any time, any season. From Wrong Rock to Oystins, summers roaming along the cliff rocks, hook, line, and bareback, plucking sea winks, pounding sea beef, in between the splash and spray of swirling surf, snarling at our resolve to sun and salt. Sea Rock's warriors, Silver Sands, Burt's Bay, along Atlantic shores. At Cotton House, whole families walked on water, picking sea eggs out of the shelf of shallow tide, breaking the shell-shocked urchins free of their reefs. By night, the village boys tuned into their television sets, turned onto Miami Vice, and dreamt of beaches just as nice. Let's be stellar clear. There was never a beach named Enterprise here before the birth of the Coast Guard station. It took a few months of mechanics, milestone boulders, bulldozers, giant caterpillar pumps sucking the rage out of the waves, reclaiming the land. The cliff found new silence in the parting of the seas. Let there be sand, soft white images of Miami beaches, the invasion of crabs and other crawlies, following foreign saints, towels spread out on heaven, a new beach born onto the sun for villagers and visitors, curtained only by a line of casarinas separating the tides. Let me go down Miami Beach. It started like a little pebble tossed from a window, rippling across districts. The word reached like a wave to shore baptism, the naming of a beach. Fellas, let me go down Miami. Maybe we'll see we star Don Johnson on we own Miami Beach in person. Fellas, let me go Miami. Let me go Miami Beach. So that's how Miami Beach got its name.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Let me just run this one called The Fisherman. I can do this one, the one that I did a video to called The Fisherman. Of course, it's a form of memory, again, similar to what Farley just know. And this is Fisherman, and it's set in 6 Meadows, of course, where it was born, actually literally born on the beach. I grew up watching the fishermen go off to sea in the wee hours of the morning, rowing those Moses out into the deep blue to launch, feather, and lister, crank those engines and set course for flying fish ground, or hunting dolphin to sell by the pound. I would run all the way from school to raw fishy crates of daily flying fish, to sunburnt, crusty hand fishermen offering their daily catch for sale, to the flicker of scale and offal, the stringent fumes of diesel and salt water burning the memory up my nostrils. I grew up with fishermen, seeing them relax after a hard day, listening to their rhythmic, cursing voices, telling tales of adventures at sea and the vast ocean that even now seems to beckon me. I grew up with sea spray in my eyes and the cries of hawkers bellowing against the backdrop of fish cloud draped skies. The evening's setting sun was the fisherman's friend. An arduous day of salt splash fight now brought to the end. The cycle will continue between fish and men. When I watch crimson sunsets off Sixpence coastline at the end of the day, I can't help remembering fishermen lost at sea, like Sylvan and PK. I can't help remembering the flying fish gone from our bay, elusive as a nocturnal thief, doing their silvery dance now at Boko Reef. I still watch those fishermen each chance I get going down to the sea and listen to the sound of the conch shell. Fish, fish, catch of the day. I still watch those fishermen.
Yeah, I think I could come in here. The rain has finished here now.
Yeah.
I support you. I was out of most of the conversation for the majority of the time because of the rain.
Hit it hard.
Anyhow, I'm going to read a part of a poem. I'm not going to read all. I'm going to read a part of a poem that was published in this book from Rampas to Tenerife called Soliloquy. I remember standing up on Queen Street, starch stiff and cakey, and blue, hair greased down with a part on the side in the broiling sun, waving British flag to Lizzie and Phil who passed in motorcade going to Farley Hill. And I watched how this girl child, mother of many, push open herself from the inside out like a flower to rise up on she feet with spirit and spunk that far older than the tiny polyps whose homes collectively carved her coral body, older than Bustle's dream of freedom that we ain't reached yet, to spit in them eye and dare them in their face, tell them how she can paddle she own canoe, bait she own line, relax Israelite in the shade of your own shadow. And I stand up here against this turnpike wall and watch times change, like shadows grow long and disappear, as daylight is swallowed by the dark, till dawn brings back the sun, and weeks roll on to months, to years. And I remember where we come from. That is just a small part of a poem called Soliloquy.
Lovely. Keep
wonderful.
it going, keep it going, keep it going.
Okay.
All right, so what I'll do is I think I'm gonna kind of bring my thing to an end. And I want to share with you something on what I've been playing with recently, as it relates to the orishas and them kind of things. So because I'm gonna rush, I'm gonna do these two short poems and then I'm out. I got to go. I don't want to, but I have to. You know that kind of way. You don't want to, but you have to.
Yeah.
Right. So the first one I'm gonna do is called Yamaya or Yamwaja. I go down to her early in the evening time before the sun sets. She welcomes me in feet first, head and full body. Soaking deep in her ocean, she swallows me up. She lets me drink her wet, salt, dry until I come again. She quenches my thirst. Some days I bring her offerings, pieces of silver, fresh fruit, a heart of honey. When I ache in pain, when my bruises are heavy, she relaxes me. One demand she makes of me, that I respect her presence. She is my healer. I am calm when she rages, rough and turbulent, and splashes when she is calm. I know her currents, her pulling and pushing waves and ways of purging. I wait with her until dark, not wanting to leave her bay. I'm not alone. I'm not her only love. I watch the gleeful how they gather at her door, flirting in her tide, floating on her open ties. They call her Rachel, not knowing her Yamoja, not conscious of her blessings. So that's dedicated to the ocean. And I was working with that for a couple of days when the springs shout at me. So from Yamaya, we had to go to Oshun. There's a river flowing fertile, fresh within, like a mother's healing hand. The goddess Oshun manages the inner house, sits at the spring head in a body of sweet water, willing us to enter in. A goddess of love in the heavens and on earth, in death and rebirth, she brings spiritual balance. Find her at the brook, under the sweet waterfalls, the river goddess, protect her and nurture. Look within, you will find her, waiting for your hand. Without her, your world is dry, clogged up and barren. She gives and she takes away, mother of sweet things, a savior to the children. Look in the mirror, watch how she flirts on the banks of the river in us all. So, brethren, that's it for me for today. Like I said, I'm in the heat of rehearsing for the 29th. I'm doing something on the evening of the 29th. And I'm still in the process of scripting and writing it. So I need to get back to it and finish up a draft and then head up to a rehearsal in a couple more hours. So I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. I've always been trying to get in on this readings on Fridays. It's been problematic seeing that I'm working. Fortunately, I'm not at the office today. I'm not working today, so here I am. But I have to go out now, get back to the work at hand. So bless up.
It's been great.
Strong.
Share you again.
Yeah,
we
thank
talk.
you, thank you, I for it. Thank you.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, bye.
All right, brother. Mhm.
Yeah, good.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Yes,
Thank
man.
you for being a part of this.
Thank you. All right, brother. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it going.
All right, I just gonna share this one I called Dead Turtle. I saw a dead turtle, mutilated, discarded, and left to rot upon a lonely beach. I marveled that one being could be so cruel to another, and thought about this turtle as a mother, now leaving her children to suffer. This turtle was the earth without a protector, just seeking shelter, falling prey to the most indiscriminate predator. I thought of this turtle as a child, left to run wild with eagerness beaming from his eyes, never suspecting such an ultimate demise. I stood and wondered, then gave the last rites to a dead turtle, mutilated and left on a blood-stained beach. Falling to my knees, I asked Mother Earth to forgive us, please, for this turtle will no longer swim the high seas. Yeah, are you ready, Doug?
I ain't ready.
All right, I'll share this other one. My dad. Before I share this one, I just want to let you know that I think I spoke to Courtney already. Tara and I bring out a book. Most likely it'll be out by January. A collection of poems entitled Sea and Sand, Sea, Water and Sand. And it's a collection of our poems, and it should be out to be launched in January. The book will be dedicated to our mom and dad. And this is a poem that I dedicate to my dad, called My Dad. Memories of my dad, my dad. My dad would read to us bedtime stories at night. Mornings were punctuated by pillow fight and nicotine kisses as we entered the light. I would watch him shave his silver razor, exploring across jaw, revealing a strong face without flaw. Maybe a nick or two that razor's edge was sure to do. But he never flinched, not 1 inch or two. My dad and the things he used to do. My dad would often tell of my baby days, shouting again, again, as he tossed me in the air. Within his arms, I had no fear, and that is true of all the things my dad would do. My dad would put us on his back as he breaststroke through the sea. This was fun for me, gliding through the water like Aquaman, then diving down to sand, walking from the beach, dad and 2 sons in hand. Paternal love so true was the things my dad used to do. I miss my dad, now he's gone, but his memory will always live on. And that father's love I knew, especially as I recall the things my dad used to do.
Okay, this one is called Ceremonial Pomp. Ceremonial pomp and pageantry, drumbeat and bugle horn, under Nelson's fixed gaze at Heroes Square. A slave-grown enterprise salutes a false heritage in this independence age, homage special to a princely knave. Drumbeat and bugle horn herald the parade of national colors flapping in the wind. Stiff, starched green, khaki, and white, guns shouldered, swords drawn, the order is given, and in comes the Governor General, a slow and measured crawl. Cork, St. Cassock, and Colour joined the queue to throw up pious prayers for queen and country in solemn Gregorian drawl, while with sheepish grin, bowed heads, and lured gaze, some follow a pair of stocking feet and black lace shoes to a point just within the line of sight where day meets night, the gentle sex. They wear an asinine smile and courtly curtsies. From across the bridge, the dipper watch in dignified wonder, as if to ask, what is your mirror image? Barricaded crowds watch through jaundiced eyes from a distance as dignitaries hobnob, small talk, and queue to sip potent spirits and proffer toasts in superlatives to their royal superiors. And from across the bridge, the dipper watch in dignified wonder as if to ask, what is your mirror image?
Okay, can we just do two more and then we can get out of here?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'll do this one called Caribbean Man. I am Caribbean Man.
That's
I
me.
am black. Hello? I am Caribbean Man. I am Caribbean Man. I am Black Caribbean Man, survivor of the Middle Passage, slavery, political sacrilege, and the Federation experiment. I am Caribbean Man, trodden down, trenched down with the Rasta brethren, dancing to the heartbeat of Africa's children, listening to the soca rhythms and the steel palm vibes, sipping the herbs of the land. I am Caribbean Man. I am Caribbean Man with cane blade and banana in my hand, seeping oil through my veins, washed clean by the August rains. I am Caribbean Man. I am Caribbean Man, liming on the block, taking stock of all that divide to make a Caribbean man fall. I am Caribbean Man, rising to build a Caribbean nation, ending all division, bringing full unification. I am Caribbean Man. I am Caribbean Man, playing mass in crop over Carnival band, round Savannah, round the highway, or Vinci, Lucia. I standing firm, this Caribbean man, this strong Black Caribbean man, with one flag, one pledge, one anthem. Feel the vibration, the rhythm, beating across the region. Caribbean man, united, one nation.
Yeah. This one is called Terror. Terror. Terror lived here in these islands long time ago before this time. Terror came here, assaulted terror, a howling terror, horrifyingly horror, nature's untamed fury that returned again and again to lash the coral and volcanic lips of these tortured islands, stripping bark, green foliage, and fruit from trees, washed up rivers and floods that washed away habitat and human in torrents of tears. Terror tore through these islands, fuming and twisting, shaping these topographic features over the land and over time, and ancient stories were forever etched on these windswept landscapes for future eyes to read. Terror lived here on these islands. Long time ago before this time. Terror is endemic in these islands like the December flu, fever and cough, changing shape and hue and voice each time. Terror was Columbus, vicious and lost, Cortez and Pizarro and others who came seeking gold and the El Dorado. Terror was the reign of ethnic genocide that killed Taino and Kalinago. It was the rival of Raleigh and John Newton, Morgan and Nelson, rape and plunder. Terror lived here long time ago before this time. Like evil spirits and boogeyman hiding among the lock in the stinking hole of ships, chained to long days of despair, eyes drained of hope, throats dried with endless weeping. Yeah, black and the long cruel night knowing. Terror lived here on these islands long time ago before this time. and the feared serpentine curl, hiss, and crack of the infamous whip, and the voices wailing and praying, singing and singing, long into the night, in the sun and in the cane fields, in the rain, in the deep, unending silence of suffering. Yes.
Thank you. Over to you, Courtney.
Anna, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, yes, thank you, guys. I just gotta thank you guys, the Jilks brothers out of Barbados for your contribution to this program and to the Barbadian culture on a whole. Today it was a wonderful experience for me, and I know for the listeners and viewers also, because what I was glad about was really about the explanation of rhythm poetry. Okay. Because I'm sort of understand it, like it was like dub poetry, but I didn't know the deep roots of where it came from. So that was great. And just to recap on the program, we started out by listening to the Minister of Culture, John King, giving his brief remarks and talking about the transition to the Republic. And I just want to say that it was a great performance. Frankie did a great piece about the new Republic, and a very interesting, riveting piece. And also, in the program, I like when you guys spoke about the Godfather, Camus, Broadway. And surely, I know in the Caribbean, he's being recognized as one of the greatest poets of our time. So that was wonderful also. There was also a conversation, about the theatrical arts and, television filming in Barbados. And I'm glad you give a perspective on it to let the listeners and viewers know what you guys are doing there. It seems like you have a vibrant film industry going on. And as you know, that we closed off, with our form of one-shot running poetry. And, I don't know what to say, like I'm just speechless about, the poems that I've heard. They are diverse, but, the real thing that gets home to me is your literary form. The narratives you told in those poems. So that was great. And surely, just to let our listeners and viewers know that we continue on Monday and Tuesday next week with our focus on Barbados. And we'll have Independence Day, and I think the celebration will be on Monday. And also on Tuesday. So, just let you guys know, especially our listeners in Barbados.
I'll be on for those two.
We're asking you to tune in.
Yeah, I'll be on for those two for sure.
Yeah, so back to you, Flavors.
No, just to also mention that on Thursday, December 2nd, the Honorable Anthony Carter, Mighty Gabby, will be launching his first book of poetry, the first part of his anthology on the Real Stuff podcast at 12 noon Barbados time. So, and then on Friday, we'll be having our closing session for the year 2001. And we'll come back January 1, 2022. So I must say thank you very much, not just for today, but for the whole year. Your support has been tremendous, and we thank you very, very much. And we are inviting you to join us on Friday, the 3rd of December. We're inviting all our guests to be with us as we close the year.
Definitely you'll be there.
Wonderful, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then I think we need to meet otherwise where we can discuss, what we can do, with the real stuff and other, in other ways too, to promote the whole thing of poetry and creatives in the Caribbean.
Yep.
This is a Caribbean podcast, a real Caribbean thing, not a Jamaican or a Barbadian or a fully Caribbean. And we have also added Africa, and we have a section Carifican, which is a Caribbean and African youth voices, hearing what the youths have to say, what they want to do, what's affecting them. And that's going really well now. So
I know there's a vibrant literary groups in St. Lucia and Trinidad. So I hope that next year we could tap into some of those groups.
Definitely.
And St. Lucia. I will help put you in touch with St. Lucia ones and probably Trinidad because they have contact with us.
Okay, so you can start to work now because our break in December is to work, is to get things ready for 2022. And we would appreciate that.
I touch base with those guys and let them know.
Yes, please. And we also want people from those islands to be part of the Carifican also, the Caribbean and African Youth Voices.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it and see what we can, do. And last week there was a big indigenous conference in Dominica. So we are making some links in Dominica also. And we already have links in Grenada. We just have to get them to a higher level, and St. Vincent. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
And all the best for your celebration and for the new dispensation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Until Monday.
So Flavor says stop the recording?
No, not yet.
I can.
Franco was to come on and do the final stuff, but I'm not getting through to him. So we will go without him.
Yeah. All right. We can just close up now.
Yeah, I'm going to stop the recording now. Recording stopped.
Yes. Well. I
hope you did not eat too much yesterday.
No. Not a great eater anymore,
Okay.
Just eat, get a little satisfaction. That's it. Well, I don't even eat for belly full anymore.
Well, I had a friend, Well, I don't know if he, I haven't seen him for a long, long time. But he always says that he does not have a appetite. In fact, he does not subscribe to appetite. He have a happy slack. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, man. He have a happy slack, man. Happy slack.
Mm. Yeah.
You wouldn't believe that this morning when I wake up, there was no internet.
Wow.
But we get all of them to work. Sure, they may have a work now. But the main one came back in the nick of time. So I was so happy about that. Because the other two are very iffy, you know.
Yeah.
But my cable internet is doing well, man. Doing well, as you can see. Doing well.
Yeah, Lashana, you know, she was on the line with me prior to the show ending, so I just told her that we're ending off and all of that. So
yeah,
because she had just reached home, and but
well, I think we need to have something probably early January to bring them in, you know, again, because even Kimon say a pipe burst in the yard, and him had to be fixing it.
okay.
He had people over fixing it, and he had to be outside with them.
Yeah, man, because he eventually called me from his new number, so.
Yeah, Cassie gave me the number, you know, and I called him.
Okay.
And I sent him the link. So I have his new number now. I just called Cassie, and she gave me his new number.
Yeah, he called me afterwards.
I was going to send it to you. I called him, I didn't get him, but he called me back quickly after. And we spoke. I think he sent a voicemail, but I didn't even listen to it because I didn't have time to listen to it. But I am so happy about today, man. Today, we didn't have the numbers, but we had a dedication. Hello?
Yeah, man, I'm listening. I was just looking at something.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
We have to cut out John King thing and have it. That was endorsement of the highest level, you know. John King. Wicked, man. Wicked.
I'm a great person, man, you know. I mean, yeah, you know, with my interactions with him, you know, been just humble and cool, you know.
Yeah, man. Very good, yeah, man. But you can see the commitment that the Gills brothers have, you know, to the show.
Yeah, man.
Hi, for real.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm telling you, it's just our Jamaican people who don't recognize certain things. You understand?
I work about them, boss. We learned that long time. I learned that long time. I will tell you, the man and give me a blessing, pure blessing. I'm gonna meet Morris one day, and by the end of the week, a fully paid trip was arranged and implemented. Pick up at the airport, hotel is waiting. Oh boy.
Our people not really to certain things, you know. I don't know if it's lack of foresight, lack of insight. I don't know, you know. But a lack of something.
It's grudge, man. Grudge.
Yeah. Well, I just have maybe the usual bad-minded thing.
I'm gonna give a thing. I had a young lady work with me, you know, very close. She died, unfortunately. She died. Very sweet, you know. And she called me one day and said she had a daughter for a Bayesian. And she was taking the daughter down to Barbados.
Yeah, hold on. Call me back WhatsApp. Call me for a shift location already.
Eh?
I'm saying call me back WhatsApp right away.
Okay. Let me just close this then.